beautiful.
Good practice.
It was bad anyway. So good. The Seagulls won 9-0 here at Arnold Field on Friday. The Stompers returned the favor 14-3 down in San Bruno yesterday, which sets up a rubber match here on a Sunday matinee at Arnold Field between the Stompers and the Seagulls. And everything went correct yesterday, Roman. 14-3 win for the Stomps. That started with a 6-run first inning. And, well, 2 extra base hits in the first 4 league games, 2 extra base hits in that first inning. Everything went right offensively for the Stomps.
And it started with Colton Boardman. He worked a leadoff walk, followed by a single, and then a walk, and then a double, knocked a couple in. They just played great small ball. They found good at-bats, took good approaches, found the pitches they want to hit, not just the pitches they need to hit. And they were in attack mode the whole game, scored in pretty much the majority of the game, had a couple really big innings, and it led to success.
A big part of that was Colton Boardman out of the leadoff spot. Walk and a double. He was on base twice. That was just in the first inning. He walked and picked up another single, on base 4 times. He stays up there. Akers bumped down to the 3 spot. He was on base 5 times yesterday. The big one is Nick Spaciani down in the 8 hole.
Yeah, and this is still a solid lineup here. I mean, we're changing things around for the Stompers, and they're finding what works, because ultimately it doesn't matter who is where. It's just, you need to put up runs on the board and be successful.
Yeah, and let's talk pitching matchups for a second here. It's Ben Eisenhower again. We saw him start the first game of this series right here on Friday. He went 1.1 innings, 2 walks, 1 hit, a very short leash. He wound up not allowing any runs because Sebastian Buller came in and turned a double play behind him. You're facing the same guy for the same time in what's now 72 hours. How do you change your approach?
Yeah, you got to stick to your skill set, know what you're doing that's going to be successful out on the field, but Eisenhower pretty on a limited leash here. Arm probably doesn't feel ideal after just a little bit of rest, and the bullpen beyond him, who knows? This is the 3rd game. It's going to be scrappy from both teams, and if it was me, I'd expect a big one.
Yeah. Every coach that I've talked to said today's going to be a dogfight. I was talking to Kenny Meimersdorf pregame today. He said, it's tough for the Seagulls to come out sharp. You just beat a team 9-0. If we're talking about yesterday's game, it's hard to come out and beat a team again after a 9-0 game while the Stompers are coming off a huge win. So this is interesting. 2 blowouts. Zach Pace, Kenny Meimersdorf, and Coach Mayo all said this one's going to be a dogfight. How do the Stompers come out on top in that dogfight?
Yeah, they got to continue to play within themselves, play small ball, find ways on base, and they got to play good defense. Arnold Field, not an easy field to play on, but they're very aware of it. They practice here all the time. They're here well before first pitch. They got to know that. They got to take advantage of that. You got to play clean defense, got to have good pitching, and it all starts at the plate, of course.
Yeah, the Stompers and here at Arnold Field has that. Well known for the very thick grass. Ground balls don't get through. And I asked Kenny Meimersdorf before the game, was there any concrete offense adjustments you saw? And he said, well, a lot of our ground balls actually got through the infield. That doesn't happen here at Arnold Field. Let's go back to the pitching before we head over to Roman's radar. Justin Jones pitched last Sunday against the Alameda Merchants, and he pitched that 9th inning, and he gave it 4 hits, 4 earned runs. He got the win for whatever that's worth, not much, as Hirian Han walked it off last Sunday afternoon. The Stompers hoping for no heroics today, and Justin Jones hoping for probably a little bit better of a performance.
Certainly needs to be more cut and dry, just get ground balls. He can get the strikeout. He's a solid pitcher, but needs to let the defense work, just be confident, get ahead early in the counts. We've seen Stomper pitching be really good and also pretty shaky this season. It's when they don't get ahead in the count versus when they do, so he needs to pitch ahead, throw strikes.
Well, as we see our ceremonial first pitch about to happen on the field, Anthony Shepler, a Stomper hitting second in the order, third baseman, catching a first pitch from his dad. Well, it's not Father's Day. That's coming up in a couple of weeks, but it was a nice family affair we're watching here. And now let's head over to Roman's radar. Let's start with yesterday's victors, the Sonoma Stompers. There's a lot of options. If you look at yesterday's scorebook, who do you have?
Yeah, for me, it's going to be Anthony Shepler. We saw him out of the lineup for a couple days, and he came back last night, had a great game, and he's now, got his dad on the field. A morale boost there. It seems fitting for him to have a big day.
Yeah, and now let's go to the other side and the San Francisco Seagulls with a look behind enemy lines. Who should we be looking out for?
Yeah, for me, it's going to be the leadoff Jake Brewer. He's hitting in that leadoff spot. We've seen him in a 3-hole to start this series, but he's 4 for 13 in CCL play. Really one of the only super hot bats in this lineup. He's hitting in the leadoff spot. He's a big leader, had a hit late in yesterday's game, and just a big team guy that hopes to propel his team to a rubber match victory.
Yeah, Jake Brewer, San Francisco Seagulls Baseball Academy lifer. He's been in that system for quite a long time. The first 2 games of this series were split. The road teams won both of them. The Stompers look to change that coming up in just a few minutes. That's all we have today on the Sonoma Stompers pregame show. The rubber match between San Francisco and Sonoma coming up on the other side. Rubber match on the way between the Stompers and the Seagulls. I'm Kieran Costa, joined alongside Roman Raffelli. Thanks for joining us on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Sonoma, the second matinee in as many weeks here at Arnold Field. The Stompers won last week 15-14 in walk-off fashion. They probably hope for a game more like last night, 14-3, and they send Justin Jones to the hill to try and do that. The 5'9", 185-pound right-hander from Walnut Creek comes to us via Los Medanos College. The righty made 10 appearances with 7 starts at Los Medanos and pitched to a .390 ERA in 30 innings, 20 strikeouts to 8 walks, so command could be big here for Jones. He pitched last Sunday, as I mentioned in the pregame, 4 earned over 1 inning, but that was in a relief role. He's clearly more comfortable as a starter, and his battery mate is Esteban Sepulveda. Nick Sebastiani in left field, Landon Akers in center, Brady Shannon in right, Anthony Shepler and Colton Boardman on the left side of the infield, McCann, Libby, and Trent Keys on the right side of the infield. They go up against a Seagulls lineup that scored just 3 runs last night but scored 9 on Friday. Jake Brewer leads off, third baseman, followed by the left fielder Matt Galvin and the center fielder Ben Koch. The second baseman, Nav Sundar, hits cleanup, then the first baseman, Ethan Johnson, hits 5th. The DH tonight, Tate Lewis, 2 great at-bats off the bench yesterday. And then the catcher, Carson Chavez, the right fielder, Finn Whalen, and the shortstop, Jalen Hodges, rounds out the 9 for Ryan Davis, his squad. Jake Brewer digs in from the right side against the righty, Justin Jones, shakes hands with Kevin Addington, our home plate umpire. John Pierce is over at first base, and Blake Dempsey down at third. Jones is ready, Brewer's ready, and the first pitch is inside for ball 1. First pitch at 1:10 here on the Pacific Coast. 1-0 is inside again, 2-0. Jones misses inside with his first 2 of the ball game against Brewer, who's having a nice little start to CCL play. He's 4 for 13, a double and 2 driven in. 2-0, fouled back to the screen, 2-1. Brian Davis, the manager, is also coaching first base, and Nick Escalara is down at third. Two-one. Swing and a miss. And you already hear it. There's chatter coming from the Stomper dugout, which we didn't see a lot of the first few weeks of the season, but players led a meeting with the whole team after batting practice yesterday. Seems to have ignited something, as this one's popped up foul down the right field line, and the count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two coming. Jones looking to start off the ball game well. He rocks and delivers, and Brewer pops it up foul again. That one's 89, top third of the zone. And Brewer's doing exactly what you want your leadoff man to do. He's about to face pitch number 7 from Jones, and it's high. It's a curveball that looked like he didn't snap it off all the way. It drifts over the head of Jake Brewer, and we get an early payoff between Justin Jones and Jake Brewer, and it's lined in to very shallow left field, and Colton Boardman actually stays on the infield to make that catch. 1 away, Jones wins the battle, as long as it may have been.
And that's really a win for both sides there. Justin Jones gets his first out, and Jake Brewer let the on-deck hitter and the whole dugout see quite a bit of Justin Jones, a lengthy leadoff at bat, which is exactly what you want to start the game.
You have a final of the 3-game set between these two squads. Jones pitches, and it's grounded right back to him. It kicks off his glove. He picks it up and throws to first late. It's an E1, and Matt Galvin is aboard. Oh, it's not a very hard hit ground ball of Jones. He just tried to backhand it. It kicked off his glove, and by the time he picked it up, it was a little too late. And Galvin is the first base runner of the ball game.
Yeah, when he tried to field it, and it just kind of hit him in the heel of the glove, more towards the wrist, and bounced away from him, and just a tough play, but definitely not the error you want to make early in this one.
That brings up Ben Koch, who's just 1 for 7 to start his CCL campaign, and he takes low at 88. 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. 1 on, 1 out, just getting started top of the first. And Jones steps off, and a courtesy throw to Trent Keys at first base. Matt Galvin was already back to the bag. The pitch is up and away. 2-0. Koch out of the University of Louisiana at Monroe. Hitting in the 3 spot today. We saw him in the 9 spot yesterday. He got aboard twice, and Jones checks on first base again, which is not a bad idea. I mean, San Francisco's been running a lot, and in situations that I don't think the coaching staff's too proud of, and it looked for a moment like Justin Jones had just picked him off first base, but John Pierce says no.
And a very, very close over to first base. The home team thought they had him. They're going to pick again.
That time, he's safe again, and he could have been out both of those times, but Jones will now most likely come home with a 2-0. This would be, if he runs here, credit to Galvin. He doesn't, and Koch is fooled on a fastball well out of the zone. The count's 2-1.
Yeah, Jones likes to throw a 2-seam fastball, especially against a lefty. It pushes away from them. A very tough pitch to hit, especially high in the zone like that.
That one's fouled back to the screen, and maybe, usually you see pickoffs get a pitcher out of their rhythm. Maybe it got Jones back in rhythm. He picked up twice in a row and now has delivered back-to-back strikes. And Ben Koch, the beer batter at Arnold Field, now in a 2-strike count. Galvin, beg your pardon, still off first, and another close play. Justin Jones has picked back 5 times on Mac Galvin. 2-2. Sets at the belt. Runner goes. It's outside. Sepulveda's throw to second. The tag is in time. How about that from the Stomper defense? Mac Galvin was so insistent on trying to take second base, and Esteban Sepulveda says no siree to that one. It goes as a caught stealing, and now all of a sudden Justin Jones is 1 pitch away from escaping the first. Payoff. Struck him out swinging. So a caught stealing, the beer batter strikes out, and Sonoma is playing very good baseball the last day and half inning. The first strikeout for Jones, and his catcher picks him up on the air. Nothing across for the Seagulls, with the Stompers coming up in the last of the first. You're watching the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. The Stompers' defense is outstanding in the top of the first. A caught stealing after Justin Jones checked on Mac Galvin 3 or 4 times. And now the offense gets to work, and it starts with the shortstop, Colton Boardman, and then the third baseman, Anthony Shepler, and the center fielder, Landon Akers, on base 5 times and a home run yesterday. The second baseman, McCann Libby, hits cleanup. Then the designated hitter, Paul Lazul, slotted back into the lineup. The catcher, Esteban Sepulveda. Then the first baseman, Trent Keys. The left fielder, Nick Sebastiani. And the right fielder, Brady Shannon, go to work against Ben Eisenhower. You might remember him because he started on Friday. He went just 1.1 innings, 2 walks, and a hit batsman. 6 foot, 165-pound lefty out of Cal State East Bay. Who's just turned 23 years of age. Just 2 games for Cal State East Bay and pitched to an ERA near 16. Lefty on lefty to open up, and Eisenhower pitches to Boardman. Called strike 1. Breaker finds the bottom of the zone. The defense behind him is Galvin in left, Koch in center, Whalen in right. Brewer, Hodges, Sundar, and Johnson goes third to first. He gets the sign from Tate Lewis, his battery mate, and misses low outside. Boardman 6 for 17 in league play. Got bumped to the leadoff spot yesterday and reached base 4 times. He pops this one up to very, very shallow right field. Sundar going out, and he can't find it. It's going to drop, and Colton Boardman's going to take second base. It's a double for Colton Boardman. Sundar, who's not a second baseman, lost it in the sun, and it just drops into the Bermuda Triangle a little bit.
Yeah, Sundar tried to kind of backpedal his way over into no man's land. A really tough place to play that because it should be the right fielder, but he just wasn't there in time and then got turned around because of the backpedal. So a great leadoff double from Colton Boardman, and feels like he just can't not get on base at this point.
Pranav Sundar's done just about everything this series. He got on base 4 times, playing first base the first game of the series, and he pitched 2 shutout innings yesterday out of the bullpen. Shepler squares to bunt, pulls it back, and takes low. A fun little position player pitching moment we saw. Well, it wasn't fun for Sonoma. He threw 2 shutout innings. He walked Trent Keys, but just about every pitcher in yesterday's game did that. Left on left again. Shepler squared to bunt on the first pitch. The 1-0 he takes inside. Was swinging away, but lays off a pitch that That's front hip slider, lefty-lefty. It came back over the plate but missed high. Shepler 4 for 11 since CCL play picked up on Tuesday. He squares to bunt here and puts down a beauty back to the pitcher. Eisenhower fields and throws just in time to get Shepler, but a perfectly executed sacrifice moves Boardman to third with just 1 out for the scorching hot Landon Akers, who's flirting with a 1 OPS here in the early going, 955. The on-base plus slugging for the Bellarmine center fielder. 6 for 18, 6 runs, 4 RBIs. A lot of those are team-leading stats up until this point. Righty on lefty, Akers takes outside 1-0. I mean, what did Landon not do yesterday? He walked, doubled, was hit by a pitch, homered, walked, and was hit by a pitch again. Reached 5 times. The 1-0, outside again, 2-0. And with first base open, I don't think it's that bad of a decision to not put a ball in the zone to Akers. Going back to Friday, the leash was very short for Ben Eisenhower, who got in trouble in the second, and his day was done after just 7 batters. 2-0 to Akers is high, and it's 3-0. The infield plays in a shift, not an over shift, but the third baseman, Brewer's hugging the bag, Hodges playing in the hole, and Sundar's nearly up the middle. Akers takes a 3-0 that finds the inside corner, 3-1. And Johnson's way out the line at first base. If he could go the opposite way like McCann Libby in the on-deck circled in yesterday's first inning, Stompers would be set up. But instead he takes a 5-pitch walk. And runners at the corners for McCann Libby. Libby came up in yesterday's first inning with runners on, and he shot a 2 RBI double to the opposite field. The Stompers would love to do that here and just keep the offensive momentum rolling from yesterday down in San Bruno Park. Johnson holds the runner at first. Sundar and Hodges play for the double play up the middle, and Libby takes high, says Kevin Addington.
Wants to go back to the Schepler bunt. If that ball was 2 feet closer to the third base line, he's on base as well.
Akers doesn't run, and Libby almost takes out Dave Hogue, who hits the deck down the third base line. That was a bullet 97 miles an hour, and it was heralded from the third base coach's head, but Dave Hogue has bounced back up, and he's ready to go. And after seeing that hard contact, a couple Seagulls are going to jog down towards the bullpen in the left field corner. 1-1 coming to Libby. McCann takes high and outside. He tried to bend the slider back in, and it stayed up and away. The slider looks like it's about 71. The fastball at 78, 79. Libby takes that fastball at 79, same spot up and out, and one more wide one loads him up for Sonoma here in inning number 1.
Well, and anything but a belt-high fastball that he got and ripped down the third base line, he's certainly not going to get one of those, or at least not intentionally, from Ben Eisenhower.
3-1 is lined to left. Coming on is Galvin to make the catch. Here comes the runner. It's cut off. And the Stompers with some outstanding situational hitting here in inning number 1. That was a hard hit baseball by Libby and an aggressive send by Dave Hogue. That was very shallow left field.
Right, and that ball hit on a line. I think he got exactly what I said he wasn't going to get in a fastball. What looked pretty middle to me, but he gave it a ride and got an RBI. That's a great way to start this ball game.
So the Stompers strike early for the second consecutive night. And that brings up Paul Lazul, and Landon Akers was running on the pitch that ended up going to the backstop. It's a stolen base. He was 3/4 of the way there by the time the pitcher even started his motion. He swiped 16 bags at Bellarmine. He's already picked up a couple in league play so far. Out to the mound goes Tate Lewis to talk things over with his pitcher Eisenhower, who in this first inning has given up a double, a sacrifice bunt, a walk, and a very hard-hit sacrifice fly. That's stolen base number 3 for Landon Akers this year. And stolen bases have been a controversial topic in this series. Lazul, with a lot of hitting room up the middle, takes outside corner for a called strike. The Seagulls are never fully going to an overshift, but they're setting up their defense, especially on the infield, to just about every hitter. The analytics department down in San Bruno clearly has some sort of scouting report on Paul Lazul, who takes a 1-1 right down the middle, and it's 1-2. Lazul 2 for 6 in league play. Picked up an RBI. That was to get the Stompers a little bit closer against Alameda, 9th inning single. Single here would double up the Stomper cushion. 1-2 coming, and Lazul takes low 2-2. 20 pitches in the inning already for Eisenhower. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Akers at second. 1-0 Sonoma in the first. Lazul takes high 3-2. And there's action, a right-hander up in the bullpen for San Francisco. That's Maxwell McGrady, who was shelled by Sonoma in the first inning yesterday. I think he had 4 earned runs over less than an inning. 6 earned over 2/3. 3-2 coming. Akers runs. It's high and outside, and that's a stolen base too. So Landon picks up his 2nd stolen base of the inning and his 4th of the season. Lazul gets on base via a walk, and the Stompers have runners at the corners with 1 out, already 1 in, and that brings up Esteban Sepulveda.
Tonight's catcher, number 46, Esteban Sepulveda.
Esteban, a backstop out of Pepperdine, is 1 for 7 with a run, a walk, and a strikeout in his first handful of league at-bats. Lazul runs. The pitch is taken for a called strike, and that goes as a stolen base. And after how yesterday's game was scored by San Francisco, they don't believe in runners in defensive indifference. I mean, if you're trying to steal 2nd and 3rd in a 13-run game, Stompers are going to throw through. 0-1 is low, and that's a nice block by Tate Lewis to keep that one in front and all but save a run. The count's 1-1.
Well, we almost kind of saw that blow up in their face a little bit. They had a mound visit in that 9th inning with the pitcher Adelman, who then the next time they took off, he stepped off and picked him off between 2nd and 3rd to kind of limit that stolen base frenzy.
Yeah, and that fired up Adelman. He retired the next 2 and picked up a 3-inning save in what was an 11-run ball game. 1-1. Sepulveda takes outside 2-1.
Just great plate discipline so far from the Stompers, being very content in the box, patient approaches, which is something that this coaching staff has been very adamant about doing.
Yeah, Coach Haney wants them to find their pitch up. No 2-0 fastballs down in the zone that they've been swinging at early in league play. The 2-1 is a fastball way up out of the zone, and the Stompers have a chance to reload the bases. Unless Sepulveda finds one he likes on 3-1. And I'm beginning to think there's no analytics. They just shift to the pull side for everybody. It's the same shift every time. Sepulveda takes high outside ball 4, which loads up the bases. And that means this bases loaded moment is brought to you by Friedman's Home Improvement. Friedman's is loaded with all your home improvement needs. Friedman's, if they don't have it, you don't need it. And Ryan Davis is looking down to his bullpen to see if they're ready. I think the answer he received is no. So Ben Eisenhower has to face a man with the best plate discipline on the ball club, Trent Keys, who walked 5 times yesterday. And I don't even know what this shift is. This is an extreme shift to the pull side. Keys takes high inside 1-0. Going back to yesterday, he was 0 for 1 with 5 walks, and the one time that he was out, a 3-0 pitch that was in well off the corner was called a strike, so he could have had 6. Here he takes outside 2-0, and all of a sudden Ben Eisenhower's in jeopardy of walking in a run, and Trent Keys has all the count leverage in this lefty-lefty matchup against Eisenhower. The pitch, Keys pulls this one foul down the right field line, and to Finn Whalen's credit, he gave it a look. He was running hard, but that one drops harmlessly out of play, and we've talked to multiple coaches about that. That's the 2-0 swing they want. You're either going to hit a home run or pull it way foul, and so that's what Trent Keys does. Instead of giving up your at-bat, it's just 2-1. It was your count to swing anyway. 2-1 now. Walks as good as a hit for Sonoma, up 1-0 in the first. Eisenhower pitches outside corner for a called strike.
And that's a great pitch there to get back in this count 2-2. A tough pitch to hit if you're Trent Keys, and just really a true pitcher's pitch.
And now, I've said all this about the Stompers threatening. Eisenhower's a pitch away from limiting the damage to just 1. 2-2 to Keys is a curveball right down the middle, buckled his knees, and the inning is over. The Stompers get 1 run on 1 hit and leave the bases loaded. We head to the second. Sonoma leads San Francisco 1-0 on the Stompers Broadcast Network. We head to the top of inning number 2. Sundar, Johnson, and Lewis are the 3 to hit against Justin Jones, who put down the side in order, helped by a caught stealing. His first one to Sundar is a called strike 1. Sundar 2 for 7 with 3 walks and 3 strikeouts in league play. He reached base 4 times here on Friday. The 0-1. Called strike 0-2. It's a good pitch.
And Sundar thought he had a ball, stepped out of the box, and then heard the call and kind of looked around. He was certainly surprised and is now in an 0-2 hole.
Justin Jones looking to put away on 0-2. He rocks and fires. Sundar grounds it to Colton Boardman at shortstop. Fields throws in time to get him 6-3 the putout.
Now batting first baseman number 16, Ethan Johnson.
Brings up Ethan Johnson, committed to play at Missouri this coming fall. And the Tigers look like they're getting a good one. A hot start to CCL play. 3 walks and a double, and he scored 3 times. Right on left, he takes a called strike, and Justin Jones has really just poured 4 right in there to start inning number 2.
He's filling up the zone and living on the edge. It's a great spot to be.
0-1 is hit hard but foul. It's a long and loud strike number 2. One nothing Stompers, top of the second. Final game of a 3-game set. The 0-2 is outside, 1-2. And it's the last time these teams match up for about a month. The Seagulls and the Stompers won't play again until July 3rd. The 1-2. Check swing. Whoa, goodness, as Blake Dempsey said he didn't go, and the Stompers have had enough umpire issues in the first week of the season. I think if you're the home plate umpire, Kevin, I think you can just call him out right there. 2-2 coming from Jones is outside, 3-2. I thought he went all the way around. Payoff is outside ball 4. So Ethan Johnson is gifted a second lease on life by the third base umpire, and he draws a walk, and that brings up
Now batting
Tate
designated
Lewis.
Number 38, Tate Lewis.
That's a tough one if you're Justin Jones. You think you've gotten your put-away pitch. It was a biting slider down and in, clearly fooled him, but instead it turns into a walk for Johnson, and now Tate Lewis takes low. Good pitch, but did miss below the knees. Lewis plays his college ball at Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. He's 2 for 7 in league play, and both those coming yesterday against Sonoma. This one's popped up. Left field line, it's going to stay in play, but Nick Sebastiani overran it. So after the Stompers pick up Jones with a caught stealing in the first inning, they let that one drop, but it is a foul ball, so the count's 1-1. We'll see if Sebastiani gets charged with an error depending on how this at-bat plays out. Runner not going, and it's in there for a called strike. One, two. Coming to the designated hitter, Lewis. And he grounds it foul towards the on-deck circle where Carson Chavez jumps out of the way. 1-2 coming to Lewis. Johnson leads away from first with 1 out. And Jones pitches and misses high with a fastball 2-2. 2-2 coming. Jones to Lewis, and that one's inside. Back-to-back full counts worked by Seagulls hitters, and that's now 30 pitches. 15 of those came in the first inning, and now 15 have come to the first 2.5 hitters in the second. Jones delivers, and it's hit foul down the line. Battle continues. The Stompers have a lot of arms that could come into today's ball game, so I wouldn't be surprised if the leashes is a little shorter for everybody that pitches today. First, a payoff to Lewis. The runner goes, the pitch is low. And so, back-to-back walks. That brings up Carson Chavez. Johnson walked and Lewis walked, so that brings up Carson Chavez out of Fordham. That's just his 4th at-bat of league play, and he is going to give it up pretty quickly. Infield fly rule is called. McCann Libby snatches it anyway. There's 2 down, and that's exactly what Jones needed, a 1 pitch out of the catcher who plays his college ball in the Bronx, and that brings up Finn Whalen. Whalen's done a lot this series. We saw him pitch twice. We saw him go 1 for 2 with a double and an RBI in his only league at-bats. And Jones whirls, throws to second, and then plays catch with McCann Libby. It's just playing his natural position. His pickoff attempt settled them down, though, in the first inning. He tries to do the same thing here, and Esteban Sepulveda goes and meets him halfway to say something before the first pitch to Whalen, who redshirted his freshman year at Sonoma State. And for every Sonoma State athlete, you sort of don't know where their road's going to take him the rest of their playing career, as that one is hit foul over the first base deck. About an Seawolf athletic program in purgatory right now. Oh, 0-1 coming to the 8-hitter Whalen in right field today. Runners lead from first and second. Jones comes home and misses inside with a slider at 76.
Yeah, the command for Jones really not there right now. We've seen several pitcher-friendly counts that have turned into full counts this inning and last.
The 1-1 is inside and high, 2-1. Stompers lead the Seagulls 1-0, and that one's fouled off the first base side. The count's now 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on here in the bottom of the second. Jones delivers, and it's hit hard but foul down the right field line.
Another really quality at-bat being put together here by the Seagulls.
Johnson from second, Lewis from first. The pitch struck him out swinging, high fastball. Justin Jones blows Finn Whalen away, and the Seagulls leave a couple on in the second. We head to the bottom of inning number 2. Sonoma leading San Francisco 1-0. Nick Sebastiani leads off the bottom of the second against Ben Eisenhower, who delivers low and inside 1-0. And this matches just as many batters that Eisenhower faced when he started Friday. His was allowed just 7 hitters. The 1-0, swing and a miss, 1-1. Left on right, Eisenhower to Sebastiani, and that one's well outside. 2-1, it's Brady Shannon, and then back to the top in Colton Boardman. Stompers threatened for a lot more, but only got 1 in the first inning. 2-1's low, 3-1. And Eisenhower continuing to struggle a little bit with his command. 3-1 coming is pulled hard but foul down the third baseline past Dave Hoke yet again. Three balls and 2 strikes. Eisenhower, the lefty, works off the third base side of the rubber and delivers. Sebastiani stays alive and fouls it at home plate. That's now 45 pitches for the Seagulls starter. But you wonder how many arms are in play for Ryan Davis. Yet another payoff coming to the Stomper left fielder. He checks his swing, but he's rung up on a pitch that I guess the outer third. So that goes as a looking strikeout. He was rung up at the plate.
And that's back-to-back for Ben Eisenhower, who's had a little bit of struggle to start the game, but really settled in pretty nicely.
That brings up Brady Shannon. And he takes up and outside, and the Seagulls are now in an overshift. Sundar playing on the left side of second base. Anything to the right side would result in Brady Shannon's first CCL hit for the Stompers. That one is brought back off the corner, and that's the CCL zone that we're used to seeing, a ball and a half off the outside edge. But that's an adjustment that the coaches know. The coaches go in before every game and tell your players, it's a ball to a ball and a half off the corner away. Shannon fouls this one back over the first base dugout. The count's 1-2.
And Shannon likely going to see pitches on that outside edge over and over again. He's got to make the adjustment to get the foot down, let the ball travel, and hit it towards that right field side, especially with that much green grass between second base and the nearest fielder to the right.
1-2. He pulls this one down the left field line, and it drops just foul. That was 105 miles an hour off the bat of Brady Shannon, and just about 2 and 2.5 feet away from extra bases. Just turned on that one and yanked it down the line.
Well, and what do I know? I'm not the 6'5" D1 baseball player. He can pull whatever he wants.
Good bunt, though. There's nobody on the right side of the infield. The 1-2 is to the screen on the full, and it's 2-2. Eisenhower now up over 50 pitches, and looks like Max McGrady's up and walking around down the left field line. 2-2 coming. Eisenhower to Shannon. Back curveball misses, and the count runs full 3-2. Back-to-back full counts to open up the inning. Lefty on righty. Eisenhower pitches to Shannon, who grounds it foul at home plate. a good battle brewing between these two. Pitch number 8 on the way. Stompers walked 3 times in the first inning, but left them all there. They only got the 1. Looking to get a second inning rally started. The payoff to Shannon is fouled into the glove of Lewis, and that's 3 strikeouts in a row for Ben Eisenhower.
Number 3, Colton Boardman.
Back to the top in Colton Boardman. He was that double to lead off the ball game. Just a pop-up down the right field line, and Sundar Johnson and Whalen all came together, but nobody squeezed it. And he is ahead 1-0. The 1-0 is fouled right back to the screen. 77, bottom of the zone. Got his bat head down to it, but fouled it straight back. Then Ryan Davis is walking down to his bullpen and also sent Matt Galvin a few steps towards center. The infield playing straight up, the outfield a couple steps to the pull side to the lefty Boardman, who takes a 1-1 high 2-1. Boardman now 7 for 18 with 2 doubles this week in CCL play. He swings here, expanded the zone a little bit and spoiled it foul the opposite way. It counts back to even at 2-2. Lefty Shepler on deck. And Boardman strikes out on a curveball. 1, 2, 3 go the Stompers. 3 strikeouts in the frame for Eisenhower. We head to the third. Sonoma on top of San Francisco, 1-0 on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network.
Now batting shortstop Jalen Hodges.
Back for the top of the third inning, 9-1-2 for the Seagulls. They trail 3-0 as Jones starts off the 9-hitter Hodges with a pitch that's grounded to Shepler at third, and it just kicks off the heel of his glove, E5. To play, Shepler probably wants to make. He's playing in on the lip of the grass at third. That's an E5, so Hodges still in search of his first hit in league action. We'll see if they send him. They don't, and it's grounded to third. Shepler has another chance. He dives, and he doesn't have a play on this one either. And I think that one probably has to go as a single. I mean, went into a headlong dive in the third base hole and then didn't really have a place to go with it.
Yeah, and a tough play. He looked towards second, but when you're trying to pop up and kind of do a push-up into throwing position there, it's just a lot to do at once. You're talking about both hands on the ground and then shoving off and trying to make a transfer like that. It's just a really tough play, but a heck of a grab to at least get to that ball.
So 2 swings to start the inning, and now a bunt attempt that's pulled back, and the pitch misses low at 87. Keys well in on the grass at first base. Galvin is telling everyone that he's going to bunt, and the pitch almost hits him, but it hits his bat, and he fouls it back to the screen.
And that's good pitching there. A lot of pitchers are taught, if he shows bunt, throw it at him, take the out, or try to make him mess it up. And in that case, I mean, I don't know the last time I saw someone want to bunt a ball 20 feet into the air.
Yeah, it was like he was protecting himself with the bat. It was headed straight for his rib cage. He's selling to bunt again, and he doesn't get this one down either. And now in a 2-strike situation, you see how much faith Ryan Davis has in his 2-hitter. I think he's most likely swinging away.
And that's just a great job of pitching by Justin Jones there. He threw 2 balls right at the barrel and just said, okay, try me, get the bunt down, and he couldn't do it. And now he's in a favorable count.
2 on and no out. Jones checks second. Galvin still trying to bunt, and he does. Back to Jones, and he has to go to first. And hats off to Matt Galvin for bunting with 2 strikes, and successfully at that. Wow.
Well, and he made his job even harder. I mean, you put it down late, you have just that much more. You're not really set up, and he put it right back at him, but the runner's in motion, and they couldn't double him off or anything, but that is an impressive play from Matt Galvin.
That brings up Ben Koch, who struck out his first time up. That's what the Stompers need here. After yesterday's 14-run offensive output, Zach Pace leaves the infield back with runners at second and third and less than 2 outs. Ready to trade and out for a run. Ben Koch squares to bunt, and he also is unsuccessful. It's 0-1. Bounces right back to the screen. I mean, this is a Zach Pace special. Make the defense make a play. But if it's right back to Jones like the last one was, even with runners going, I think he has a chance to come home with it. The lefty Koch doesn't bunt this time, and he fouls it straight back to the screen. Runners at second and third, 1 out, top of inning number 3. Ben Koch behind Justin Jones, 0-2, and there's action in the Stomper bullpen. Looking for a put-away pitch, a strikeout would be a crucial second out, and that one misses up and outside. Sepulveda thought about a back pick to check on Hodges, but it bounced in and out of the glove. And this isn't San Bruno Park. There's a lot of room if it gets past the catcher. Sepulveda's defense ever paramount in a situation like this, and Koch pulls it hard, but foul. That probably caught a little too much of the zone. Koch was out in front.
And the backstop, something the batter needs to be aware of as well. If you've got runners just 90 feet away from scoring, you probably don't want to pitch low in the zone, risk that ball ending up in the dirt and past the catcher, so you want to look for a strike high.
1-2 coming from Jones to Koch, and it's fouled back to the screen. By this time in yesterday's game, it was 8-0 Sonoma. Their lead is just 1-0 right now. Jones ahead in the count, 1-2. Comes home and misses high, 2-2. It's a fine pitch, 1-2. You have a couple to waste. See if he can put away the 3-hitter and then have to deal with Nav Sundar with 2 outs. 2-2 Jones laboring. He's ready to deliver his 44th pitch of the afternoon. And Koch grounds it foul. Eighth pitch coming, and the count's still just 2-2. Koch is just one hit on the CCL season. If he can find the outfield grass, it would most likely give the Seagulls the lead. Instead, he strikes out swinging on a high fastball. Justin Jones wins the 8-pitch battle over Ben Koch, and the beer batter here at Arnold Field has gone down swinging twice already today. Is that you? You choose that one today?
I did pick that one, and I'm going to say early on in this one, he might be the beer batter of the year. I don't know if we've seen someone strike out in their first two all season long.
While the season left, the Stompers are off tomorrow and off Tuesday. Wednesday, you can catch the game on our Mixler. That's a 6 o'clock start in Alameda, and then back home Thursday after that. Zach Pace goes to the mound to talk it over with his pitcher, but everyone's back to their positions now. It's Pranav Sundar at the plate with runners at second and third and 2 outs. Sundar grounded out to the shortstop Boardman last inning.
Now batting for the Seagulls, second baseman now Sundar.
Had 2 singles here on Friday. Jones looking to work around a spot of trouble here in inning number 3. Comes home. Sundar takes inside corner for a called strike 1. Righty on righty. And Jones almost picks back at second base, and I don't love that decision. I mean, the balk calls this far have been sort of flip a coin on him, but with the runner at third base, you don't want to risk that being called, especially a righty spin move. I mean, Jake Brewer's way off the bag, and if he just comes home with it, that's been working lately. It's 0-2.
And a big pitch coming to Sundar, who was at 0-2 in his first at-bat and grounded out to the shortstop on that 0-2 pitch.
Sundar struck out 3 times yesterday, and he struck out once today. Paints for black on the outside corner. Back-to-back punch-outs from Justin Jones to leave a couple runners in scoring position. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. The Stompers' bats come up in the bottom of the third, leading San Francisco 1-0. Max McGrady is the new pitcher, a 6'2", 210-pound junior out of Santa Barbara City College, who in 14 games and 29 innings had a .310 earned run average. He pitched yesterday as an opener, and the Stompers saw him well. He went 2/3 of an inning, 6 runs, all earned, 2 hits. The big one was that he walked 4, and he's going to face a lot of those same guys. Shepler, Akers, and Libby. Shepler singled off him, Akers walked off him, and Libby doubled off of him in yesterday's game. So a tough lane for McGrady. We'll see if he has more success on the road. Shepler put down a sacrifice bunt his first time up. The pitch is low, 1-0. Shepler looking to atone for his error in the top of the inning. It turned out not to matter as Justin Jones back-to-back Ks. One 0. Misses high, 2-0. Two balls and no strikes coming to Shepler. The righty McGrady sets and pitches. Shepler grounds it to first. And it kicks off of Ethan Johnson. And Shepler rounds first and heads towards second. And he's rounding second, but holds there with what's going to go as an error against the first baseman Johnson, a two-base error. That one just kicked up on him a little bit, hit off the heel of that big first baseman's glove, and heads up base running from Shepler to see it rolling down into the corner and take the extra base.
And that's really a tough play to make for the first baseman. You're a little bit distracted seeing if that ball's going to land fair or foul. I mean, you should play it like it's fair no matter what. You don't want to leave it up to the umpire, but just not great there. And I guess Ryan Davis doesn't think it was fair.
Well, it's a faded line already down that first base line. But we saw one of those in the first game of this series, right, where it was fair or foul. It was called foul. Ryan Davis might say that one looked pretty similar. Shepler leads off second base. McGrady checks him and comes home, and Landon Akers takes down and in. Landon's been on base his last 6 at-bats. That includes a walk in the first inning. He also stole second and third base, but was stranded there by the starter Eisenhower, who went 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. McGrady ready to deliver a 1-0. Akers squares to bunt and pops it up, foul down the third base line. The count's 1-1. One ball and 1 strike coming to Landon Akers. The Stompers lead it 1-0. McGrady sets at the belt, checks second, checks again, and comes home. Akers swings and misses. Fastball away, 87. It's a good pitch from McGrady. Stompers lead it 1-0. Bottom of the third, Justin Jones has put away all 3 innings that he's faced without a run. The 1-2 coming to Akers is hit foul down the first baseline. One 2 coming to the right-handed hitting center fielder out of Bellarmine, and a pick back to second base is knocked down by Sundar. Saved that one from going into center field.
Well, that's a great move there from McGrady. An excellent spin. Shepler a little bit late getting back, but still a good job of getting in front of that ball, not letting it end up as another free 90 for Anthony Shepler.
1-2 to Akers is bounced back up the middle and through into center field. Dave Hoke's going to send Anthony Shepler. There'll be no throw. It's an RBI single for Landon Akers. That's 6 consecutive at-bats where he's either homered or reached base. The Johnson error proves costly quickly. And the Stompers double up their lead 2-0 over San Francisco.
And that's just an excellent at-bat from Landon Akers. He saw some pitches, spoiled the ones he didn't like but were too close in the zone, and then eventually found his and had a nice seeing eye single up the middle.
Akers dancing on first, and McGrady steps off. A nice call by the first baseman, Johnson. Akers stole second base and third base back in the first inning. That was off Eisenhower. Libby squares the bunt and pops it up. The catcher, Tate Lewis, goes into a dive, and he dropped it. And it was right in front of the San Francisco dugout, who are shocked at the call. He went into a headlong dive towards the dugout. It clearly didn't land in his glove, but he might have trapped it up against his body and made a barehanded catch. They're gonna bring the umpires together, and this is an interesting situation where Landon Akers tagged up on the play. When he saw that play and he took second base, you will see what the decision is, and I don't really think either of the other umpires would have a better view. The call stands, and so Akers goes back to first base, and it's just strike one.
And that's a weird play because there's obviously no replay available, but he might have trapped it against his body, but the home plate umpire just can't see that there. It's turned moving away from him, and it just comes down to his judgment on what he thinks is more likely.
Oh, 1 coming from McGrady to Libby. Akers not running, and it's low outside. Now he's running as it kicks to the backstop. Wild pitch, and to second base goes Akers, so no stolen base there for Landon. His season total sits at 4. Runner in scoring position. The Seagulls in the over shift for Libby. Second baseman Sundar playing directly up the middle. Akers continues to cause havoc out there on the bases, and Libby fouls it straight back to the screen. It's a nice fastball, 88 below the zone. The 1-2 to Libby's bounced foul over the third base dugout, and the count holds there. Stompers got 1 in the first and 1 here in the third. That was courtesy of an Akers RBI single, his 5th RBI of the season. And Sundar's, who's a natural first baseman, is holding on Landon Akers like it's first base. The pitch is grounded exactly to where he would have been at second, and it rolls into right field. Dave Hoke sends Landon Akers. There will be no throw, and that's the shift coming back to bite you. It's an RBI single for Libby, 3-0 Sonoma, and Maxwell McGrady's outing today, picking up right where it left off yesterday.
And that's just a classic example of trying to do too much with the shift or holding a guy on. Typically, a second baseman creeps behind the runner, and then as soon as the pitcher goes home, he dips back into his hole, but trying to hold him on in front of the base there, not something you really see much at all, and it comes back to bite him.
Infield shaded to the pull side for the lefty Lazul, who takes up and outside 1-0. No action in the bullpen for the Seagulls. Error, single, single. The Stompers have 2 home in the frame. And still nobody out. Wazul takes a called strike over the outside edge. Ryan Davis is positioning his shortstop with 1 foot on each side of second base. He's a half step to the shift side. The pitch is low, kicks away from Lewis. Libby takes second. He's gonna hold there. Almost had a chance at third base. That's a stolen base. He took that one off the pitcher, and the Stompers continue to get runners into scoring position. Park Point Health Club stolen base for Libby, the fourth, beg your pardon, strike bag for Sonoma. Two-one coming to Wazul, who grounds it to the only player on the left side of the infield, but it kicks past him into left field. Libby gets the stop sign, and Jake Brewer was playing all by himself on the left side of the diamond. It goes as a single for Wazul, and the Stompers are just beating the shift every chance they get.
Yeah, 3 straight singles now after Anthony Shepler ended up on second on an error. Great demonstration of hitting. You want to hit the ball where the field isn't. I mean, that's just classic baseball. That's the whole point, and they're doing a great job of that.
Ryan Davis makes the call to his bullpen. Another tough go for Max McGrady. We'll tell you about the new pitcher on the other side. The Stompers lead it 3-0 and have more runners on base to try and extend that lead. Runners at the corners, nobody out in the bottom of the third. We'll tell you all about the new pitcher when we come back on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. Esteban Sepulveda leads off against the new pitcher, who's Jackson Landry out of Louisiana Monroe University. He's from Donaldsonville, down there by the Bayou, but he's played outfield the first 3 games of the season for San Francisco, and his first pitch is at 82, and a called strike at the knees. He comes into a spot of trouble. 2 in the inning. Runners at first and third with nobody out. The pitch fools him. That's a big curveball at 71. Landry stands 6'6", so even if he's not a natural pitcher, it's not an easy arm slot to try and pick up. Sepulveda takes that slow curve up and outside. 2-1, and the Seagulls were great about their inherited runners in game 1. Sebastian Buller came in and turned a double play that left a runner on. A double play would seed a run. He needs more than that here as that one misses upstairs. The count's 2-2. Runner goes. Sepulveda takes low. There will be no throw. It's a stolen base for Lazul. And the Stompers have 2 in scoring position. Trent Keys on deck. He had a bases loaded at bat in the first inning. And Landry steps off. Landry, no pitching appearances for Monroe and nothing in the first week. 3-2 coming. Sepulveda hits it up the middle. It drops, and the throw goes to third base. And out there is Lazul. So it's a fielder's choice. An RBI fielder's choice for Sepulveda. He reaches first base. It goes 4-5. That's a weird one because you don't know if it's going to drop. Lazul was sort of hung out to dry. So they get one out but give up 1 run, and Landry picks back to first. Sepulveda back to the bag. Seagulls, beg your pardon, sticking with their overshift, and Keys pops this one the opposite way, but foul out of play. It's 0-2. Stompers have 3 consecutive singles to chase Max McGrady. We'll close the book on him when, actually all his runners have scored or erased. Sepulveda runs. The pitch is popped up, foul out of play, and I think Sepulveda might have had that one stolen. McGrady didn't record an out. He gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned, and the defense made 1 error behind him. A check on Sepulveda. He was running on the last one, and he's back to the bag with just 1 singular step. All 3 singles have been against the shift. Great situational hitting going the opposite way. Keys fouls it off the glove of the catcher, Lewis. No balls and 2 strikes. The righty Landry ready to deliver to the lefty Keys, and struck him out swinging on a curveball. Keys down for the 2nd time today. That's the first strikeout for Landry.
Nick Sebastiani.
Brings up Nick Sebastiani.
And a great job here from Landry so far. He came in and got a really weird, pop ball in the infield, and then worked an excellent count and got a strikeout of Keys to potentially get out of this one minimal damage.
Fastball is a called strike over the outside corner, says umpire Kevin Addington. Sebastiani struck out against the starter Eisenhower. Jackson Landry now the 3rd pitcher. Sepulveda runs. The pitch is low outside. The throw down to second is late. That's a swiped bag for Esteban. And now the Stompers are set up with runners in scoring position again. And Sebastiani's awaiting a 1-1 from Landry in a right on right battle. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. He takes low outside. 2-1. Tried that big curveball at 70. Seems like maybe those are the only 2 pitches we're going to see out of Landry, and we'll see how many innings he has to eat. No action in the bullpen. Overshift on for Sebastiani. He takes high 3-1. Error, single, 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 fielder's choice, strikeout. That's how we're set up. Runner at second and 2 outs. The 3-1, Sebastiani swings and fouls it to the opposite way, which is what the Stompers have to try and do. It's a full overshift, and in an overshift, every hitter to the pull side, which here makes sense with how slow it's coming out of the hand of Landry. The 3-2 is a fastball, and he challenged him and struck him out. Sebastiani displeased with himself on that one. For the Stompers, it's 3 runs on 3 hits and 1 left. Roman Raffelli takes you to the 6th on play-by-play when we come back on the Stompers Broadcast Network.
We're back at Arnold Field, and it's a new arm on the mound for the Stompers to kick off the 4th inning. It's Charlie Malton out of Los Medanos. He pitched 9 1/3, gave up 13 hits, 6 runs, 5 of which earned, walked 4, struck out 6, and had a 4.82 ERA in 7 appearances.
That closes the book on Justin Jones, who gave up 1 hit and 2 walks over his 3 shutout innings, along with 4 strikeouts.
And that's Ethan Johnson to take strike 1. It'll be Tate Lewis and Carson Chavez to follow him. Johnson walked in his first plate appearance. He's going to foul that one off now, 0-2. The 0-2 misses high and in. Malton, a two-way guy at Los Medanos, appeared in 43 games in the batter's box, had 47 hits, 9 of which doubles, 3 triples, and a home run as well. The 1-2 misses out now, 2-2. He ended the season hitting .280 and .341 in conference play. Two straight balls, puts it 2-2. That pitch also misses outside. Now full to Ethan Johnson. The payoff pitch swung on and missed. It's the first strikeout for Charlie Malton in CCL play.
Yeah, he missed with 3 straight out of the zone and then said, here's my best fastball, let's see if you can hit it. And just blew it by Johnson.
I'll bring up Tate Lewis, who also walked in his first plate appearance of the day, the DH tonight and this afternoon for the Seagulls. Going to be right on right with Malton. First pitch foul tipped into the glove, strike 1. The defense playing in standard position here with nobody on. Roman Raffelli and Kieran Costa here on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. Malton gets his sign-in, comes set. The 0-1 misses outside. Malton working just from the stretch, no wind. Now 1-1 for Tate Lewis. The 1-1 misses again out and low, now 2-1. Malton set above the belt, 2-1. Catches the lower part of the zone with an off-speed pitch, now 2-2. That one breaks the plate at 80 miles an hour. The 2-2 hit hard on the third base line, but foul. Lewis just 2 for 7 in CCL play so far this season with the walk in today's ballgame. The 2-2. He tried to check the swing, but he did not. It'll be the second consecutive sat down by Charlie Malton out of the pen.
I think he was punched out by the home plate umpire, so it goes as a looking strikeout, 1 of each. That brings up Carson Chavez.
So a K each way to start the inning, and Carson Chavez, who is 0 for 3 so far this season, will take a ball low and away to start the count. The 1-0 again misses outside. Malton consistently aiming for that outside edge, but missing away. Now the 2-0 hit high at Colton Boardman at shortstop, who is camped and makes the grab. So 1-2-3 set down by Charlie Malton in his first inning of work. The Stomper Bats will look to add to their 4-run lead in the bottom of the inning. It's the bottom of the fourth, and Brady Shannon to lead off for the hometown Stompers at Arnold Field. A very nice day in the ballpark. Clear skies and a pleasant 78 degrees. It'll be Brady Shannon, and then roll over the top of the order, Colton Boardman and Anthony Shepler, who have each been on once and scored. First pitch from Landry in his second inning of work, misses outside and low. The 1-0 misses high, now 2-0. Brady Shannon in right field today. We've also seen him DH, play first base. A very versatile player for the Stompers. Now 2-0, fouls that one back. And Landry has his first strike of the at-bat. Now the 2-1 to Shannon, misses low, 3-1. Now 3-1, hit hard on the third base line, but just foul. Shannon thought he had his first hit as a Stomper there, but the ever-elusive achievement looming with a full count.
He hit that one into the shift. It was foul, but to their credit, right down the line.
The 3-2 hit high into shallow center field, coming on to make the catch, and it lands in front of Koch. And now Shannon, an aggressive turn. He's going to have to dive back into first, but he has done it. The first hit in a Stomper uniform comes in his 11th at-bat.
Monkey off the back for Brady Shannon. You see that first one go, and that's the baseball expression. You just have to see it go. It doesn't matter how. That was not exactly a scorched baseball. Just hit it off the end of the bat and dinked it into center field.
And it almost sounded like it broke the bat, but it brings up Colton Boardman, who's got to be close to breaking his bat with how much he's been on base in the last 24 hours. Boardman 1 for 2 today with his double. He scored after that and struck out in the second. Shannon leads off first. I'll pick back to him, but no contest. Landry comes set. The 1-0, Shannon takes off. It's watched by Boardman. The slide, tag not made. The ball, look, it bounced off the glove of the shortstop Hodges and then the helmet maybe of Shannon. It shot about 15 feet into the air behind second base. So now 2-0 with the runner in scoring position. Second baseman Sundar not holding on the runner this time with the lefty at the plate. The 2-0 to Boardman, punched foul on the third base line. So it's 2-1 to the Sonoma leadoff. Came into today's contest hitting .353 in CCL play. Landry sets and deals, misses inside, and Shannon will have another 90 here, just 90 away after his leadoff single. Boardman with 1 RBI in CCL play so far, looking for a second. The infield on the grass, and that pitch misses low. It's ball 4.
I mean, you're in a tough situation if you're San Francisco. A lot of your arms haven't arrived. You're trying to add more, but Landry sort of just hung out to dry out there right now.
And we had a sense that that was maybe the issue coming into today's game for the visiting team. Saw Eisenhower make his second start in 3 days, and then McGrady reappear. He pitched yesterday. Shepler stands it on the left. Takes a hack at the first pitch he sees now. 0-1 to him. Stompers 4 runs, 5 hits, and a pair of errors so far in this one. Boardman takes off for second. They won't make a throw. So now second and third with no outs for Anthony Shepler.
That's 8 stolen bases by my count thus far, just for Sonoma, and it's been, what, 3 innings and a couple hitters.
The 0-2 to Shepler, fouled back. We'll do 0-2 again. The 0-2 to Shepler. Hit softly into shallow left field. It'll drop for a single, and Brady Shannon will come across to score. Boardman will move second to third, but it's an RBI for Anthony Shepler.
Yeah, again, that's another one that beats the shift. That's now just about every single Stomper hit. The last 2 innings have gone the other way, but that hasn't changed. Ryan Davis continuing to shift over, and they'll do that here against Landon Akers, but much less aggressive with that runner. Shepler at first base getting held on by Johnson and checked on now by Landry.
And an interesting move there. Shepler was only a step or 2 off the bag. Akers at the plate, singled and walked so far today. He hits a hard line drive towards Colton Boardman at third base, but it lands foul.
Yeah, righty up in the bullpen for Sonoma as this lead grows and grows. You wonder if Zach Pace just wants to get as many guys work as they can.
And certainly the benefit of a double break early in the week tomorrow and Tuesday. You can use some more guys today. That pitch misses outside now. 2-1 to Akers.
I don't know why they don't just send Shepler. They've shown they're not going to throw down to second in the first and third situation.
It's the position player, Landry on the bump, Akers in the box. The 2-1, excuse me, 1-2 now the count after a big swing and miss from Akers. A great crowd of Stomper faithful looking for more on the board here in the fourth. A hard ground ball to the shortstop. Could be 2 to second for 1. On to first. Not in time to get the speedy Akers, so a run comes across. It's Colton Boardman, and Anthony Shepler's put out at second.
6'4" fielder's choice. Akers picks up an RBI, his second of the day.
Brings up McCann Libby, the Frisco native. Played a couple years.
And they've called runners interference again against Sonoma.
So there's 2 outs in the inning. The runners interference called on Anthony Shepler. Puts out Landon Akers at first base. So a double play turn by the visiting squad looking for a spark. First pitch to McCann Libby misses high.
You don't get an RBI on a double play, but does that go against Landon Akers? A 6. Because it's a fielder's choice plus runner's interference. So you will see on the official scoring of that if Akers gets an RBI.
Now 2-0 to McCann Libby. The Frisco, Texas native, played a couple seasons at Navarro College, now headed to Louisiana Tech.
It's 2 times the Stompers have gotten a runner's interference in the last 8 innings.
A big swing and miss there from Libby, who is 1 for 2 on the day. Excuse me, 1 for 1. He's got a sac fly in the first that scored Colton Boardman the first run of the game, and then a single in the third. Now 3-1.
Aggressive overshift on for Libby. I mean, even back when the shift wasn't banned in Major League Baseball, you wouldn't see it on every single hitter. And there can't be enough data on these guys as first 20 league at-bats to be so confident going to the pull side.
This one now fouled back by McCann Libby. A lot of green grass on the infield. Even the center fielder shifted a little bit towards left. The right center gap looks like a meadow. Now the full to Libby. A hard ground ball through the shift on the left side. It just feels like they need more guys in the infield to stop a single from the home team.
He hit that into the shift side, but somehow got it between Hodges and Sundar. The inning continues, and one of the outs was a runner's interference.
So it brings up the lefty Lazul, the DH today. He's been on twice, a walk in the first and a single in the third. He stole second both times. Was put out the second time on a 4-5 at third base. Fouls off the first pitch he sees.
The one-handed swing from Lazul. His top hand just completely fell off, and he flipped it back to the screen.
Second baseman McCann Libby leads off first. Paul Lazul, and they'll check back to first. Lazul sees a shift himself. The second baseman, Sundar, pretty much halfway and back on the grass between first and second. A lot of space the other way. Libby takes off. They're going to pitch out the throw to second. Not in time. Libby with a stolen base, his first of the game. So now runner in scoring position for Lazul. The shift doesn't change with the runner on second. And if Lazul wants to get crafty here, could try to bunt down the third base line, make Brewer come in and field it, give Libby a free 90. Swings and misses at a nice outside curveball there. Started it out, worked it towards the plate. I don't know that it ended up about on the edge, a 68 curveball there. So 1-2 to Lazul. The 1-2 swung on and missed. It's the third out of the inning. A pair of Stomper runs come across to extend the lead. 6-0 here on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. the top of the 5th at Arnold Field. Charlie Malton back out. The first pitch fouled off by Finn Whalen, and going back to the bottom of the 4th, an interesting play. The runner's interference on Anthony Shepler forces a double play off the bat of Landon Akers, and just a really interesting sequence there.
Yeah, that's the second first and third runner's interference. Fielder's choice turns into double plays we've seen in as many nights, and both of them happened with runners at first and third. In yesterday's game, they put the runner back at third base. Today, they let him score.
So in one situation, something was wrong. Either they shouldn't have put him back or they should have put him back today. But an interesting play you don't see super often, but we've seen it twice in 2 games. And a big swing and miss there. Like I say, he caught it, the batter Finn Whalen, and thought he dropped it. So it's a swinging strikeout, the 3rd for Charlie Malton in his inning and a 3rd. Brings up Jalen Hodges, the shortstop, who reached on an error by Anthony Shepler in the 3rd inning.
They're going to make a change. It's going to be Derek Waldvogel, who we saw in the first 2 games of this series.
So it's Waldvogel from the right side. Hodges at the plate and lines a single into shallow center field.
Yeah, right button to press for Ryan Davis, Seagulls manager. I mean, he goes to the pinch hitter and he lines it first pitch he sees right back up the middle.
That's one way to earn some extra at-bats. A great piece of hitting there. Just got a pitch he could handle high in the zone, but fairly middle, and then I found a barrel, put it into center field. It'll bring up Jake Brewer, now a runner on first base. First pitch he sees in there for a strike. And a check back, I believe hit. Waldvogel bounces down the right field line. He'll advance to second. Keys gives chase, gets the ball into the infield. So errant pick move there. Gives a free 90. So 0-1 to Brewer. Now 0-2. Malton comes set, runner on second. Brewer at the plate. The 0-2 yanked into the left-handed batter's box, and it'll be another free 90 for Waldvogel, who finds himself just 90 feet away. So the leadoff, Jake Brewer, entered today's game 4 for 13, now 5 for 15. A solid 333 to start CCL play. Chance for an RBI here. The 1-2 swung on and missed. He won't get the ribby, but instead the 4th strikeout from Charlie Malton. That brings up Mac Galvin, who is 1 for 9 coming into today. Reached on an error in the 2nd, but was caught stealing and then had a sacrifice bunt in the 3rd. First pitch he sees, catches the corner for strike 1. Fouls off the 2nd, now in an 0-2 hole. So 0-2 with 2 outs, runner on 3rd. Malton looking to strand him there. A right on right here. Malton gets the sign, comes set at the belt. The 0-2 misses outside. It's early in CCL play, but both these teams come in a game and a half back of the Alameda Merchants, who have found themselves in a hot 3-1 start. The 1-2 in there, misses. Missed outside. The hometown fans thought they had strike three, as did Charlie Malton and Esteban Sepulveda, so it's 2-2 to Galvin. The 2-2 with 2 outs. Swung on and missed. Strike three in just 6 outs. 5 have been set down via the K from Malton. We'll head to the middle of the 5th in Sonoma. It's the bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the 5th. The Stompers with a 6-run lead off of 7 hits and an error by the visiting team. The new pitcher on the bump is Ben Resnick, who we've seen behind the dish a little bit in this series, but making his first pitching appearance.
Yeah, the Seagulls are clearly out of arms. They're going to guys who didn't really pitch in their college season. But Landry, who didn't pitch in his college season, 2 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts.
First pitch, low in, away to Esteban Sepulveda, who's reached base twice, once on a walk and once on a fielder's choice. Similar pitch there, now 2-0. The 2-0 in nearly the same spot, 3-0. .30 the count. Sepulveda watches it, ball 4.
None of those were particularly close.
First baseman number 25, Trent Keys.
Keys and Sebastiani, the 7-8 guys, are the only ones really that aren't producing. They've both struck out in both their trips, and that's going to be Nick's day. Ben Sebastiani's come out on deck.
So Trent Keys had a quietly productive night last night. Had 5 walks, but you'll always take 5 on-base appearances, and on the passed ball, Sepulveda moves to second. It's 1-0 to Trent Keys with another pretty dramatic shift here. The shortstop that is now Waldvogel holding on the runner at second, with Sundar halfway between first and second. The 2-0 fouled back from Keys. So the 2-1 to Trent Keys. Right on left matchup in favor of the batter. Just one Seagull defenseman on the left side. Sepulveda's going to take off, and it hit Trent Keys. So it'll be returning to second is Sepulveda, and Keys finds himself on first base.
And now batting for your Sonoma Stompers number 4, Ben Sebastiani.
Which brings up the cousin of the starter. It's Ben Sebastiani in for Nick here in the 5th.
I think Waldvogel's playing third base and Brewer is playing shortstop.
First pitch to Sebastiani in for a strike.
Ben got a handful of at-bats at the College of Marin.
And a double steal put on. They throw to the back one, and Trent Keys slides in successfully behind the tag. So now second and third, no outs for Ben Sebastiani.
Yeah, good chance for a couple RBIs for Ben. Be his first ribbies here in league play.
That pitch misses low. Now 2-1. Two-one, swung on and missed. He went low with the fastball. Now 2-2.
Yeah, Stompers have a chance to really put this one out of reach. Already up 6-0, 2 in scoring position with nobody out.
The 2-2 misses outside. Now full to the pinch hitter. Stompers offense been good. 6 runs on 7 hits, but the pitching staff's also been very successful today. That one gets away. It's ball 4, but also stealing home on the passed ball is Esteban Sepulveda.
Keys takes third base. The Stompers are back to their bread and butter. You don't need hits. You just need balls to get past the catcher, and these walks. Stompers just carouseling around the bases.
It's Brady Shannon, who had a small milestone, but a milestone indeed. His last at-bat, his first hit as a Stomper, was a single in the 4th. Now runners on first and third. Another shift to the left side. And that pitch catches the zone on the outside corner for strike 1. Resnick comes set, and this one hit high and deep to center field. Going back is Koch, still going back, and it's over his head. That ball hit a mile, and Shannon's going to cruise into third with a 2 RBI stand-up triple here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, 385 feet off the bat of Brady Shannon. And what do we say, Roman? He just had to see the first one get down. A broken bat single breaks what was 10 at-bats without a hit. And then the next one, that was a barrel and a half, 99 miles an hour off the bat just kept on going. It's 425 to dead center. He hit a 385 and picks up a couple RBIs.
I don't think Ben Koch in center field realized how much space was back there. You said that ball went 385 feet. He still had a ways before that ball was even going to leave the yard. That 430 sign surrounded by the ivy. Dead center. Colton Boardman now at the plate in a 1-1 count. I mean, that ball hit to right at 311 or left at what I think is about 307. That ball clears by a ways, but instead it's a triple kept in the fences. The 1-1 misses out and high from a very disciplined Colton Boardman.
Last year's split 4-4 season series between the Stompers and the Seagulls produced the most competitive games out of any CCL North rivalry.
This one hit hard down the right field line and fair. They'll score. Shannon Boardman looking for extra bases, and he'll cruise into second with the back-to-back stand-up extra base hit of the Stompers lineup.
Yeah, but not so competitive this year. 9-0 to the Seagulls' credit. They had everything working on Friday night here in Sonoma, but they lose 14-3 last night at home, and now it's double digits for Sonoma. It's only the 5th inning, 10-0.
Brings up Anthony Shepler. The lefty's got a single, reach on an error, and a sacrifice bunt in today's ball game. Boardman stands on second after his second double of the game. Another shift, I guess. Default defense for the Seagulls is a bit dramatic. I'm going to stop calling it a shift with the consistency we've seen today. Boardman, dating back to yesterday, has 3 doubles, a single, and 3 walks. Shepler swings and misses at a pitch low in the zone, now 2-1. That's a heck of a weekend for Colton Boardman.
Another arm is stretching out down there in the Seagull bullpen, but you'd assume it's position players only from here on out.
That ball lined foul down the right field line, now 2-2 to Shepler. The Stompers made 3 errors early in this one, but to their credit, they've backed it up offensively with a 10 spot and a 9 spot runs and hits. And time called by the batter, Shepler.
Yeah, they're treating runners at second like they're at first. Like he's set up in a holding the runner on position, playing in front of the bag.
2-2 hit right at that batter, and a really fortunate double play turned up the middle. It'll be an unassisted double play by Brewer. Now over at shortstop, Jake Brewer caught that one on the fly and then chased Boardman around second base for the double play. Goes 5 unassisted. Excuse me, 6 unassisted. First pitch misses to Landon Akers,
who they finally got out last time up. They hadn't got him out since Friday. And they got a runner's interference double play. Seagull specialty.
So 2-0 to Akers again. They might not get him here. Needed some help last time. 2 outs, McCann Libby on deck. 4 across to score in the 5th. Roman Orfelli, Kieran Costa on the call. This one grounded into the 5-6 hole. It's Brewer to throw across. Barely in time to get Landon Akers, so 3-4 score in the inning.
Shift worked there.
And the first time we could say that in favor of the Seagulls. Will head to the 6th here on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. Charlie Malton's day is done. He went 2 innings, gave up a hit, and struck out 5. He also worked out of a runner on third, 1-out jam. It's Micah Marquez on the bump.
Yeah, Marquez, 5'10", 185-pound right-hander from St. Helena, California, played his last year at Jessup University, where he only made 1 appearance and gave up 8 earned runs over 2/3 of an inning. He's also pitched on opening day for Sonoma, where he gave up 2 earned over 2.
First pitch outside corner for a strike to Ben Koch, who, for our fans enjoying today's game in Sonoma, is tonight's beer batter. If he strikes out, beer is half off in the concession stand, and he's done that twice today. The fans very pleased with his performance, looking for even more. That one misses low, 1-1.
Yeah, Marquez didn't strike anyone out against the Honors back on opening day, but got ahead 0-1.
Looking to find himself in the good graces of the Sonoma faithful. Now 1-1, swung on and missed. The 1-2, swung on and missed. It's half-price beer for the 3rd time this afternoon as Ben Koch is sat down.
A hat trick for Ben Koch through 6 innings, and you think that's going to be his last chance to do it as the bar closes in the 7th. That's barring a huge 6th inning. First strikeout of the summer for Micah.
It'll be Nav Sundar at the dish. Watches ball 1, and I said it earlier, but I'm going to say it again. Our early candidate for beer batter of the year, a very early front runner, Ben Koch.
It's hard to get 4 in 7 innings.
It's 1-0 to Sundar on an off-speed pitch. Another off-speed pitch there, but misses on the inside corner, 2-0. Now 2-0. That one fouled off towards the right field side. Now 2-1.
That's a fine pitch to swing at on 2-0. It caught a lot of the plate, 81 miles an hour, sort of just sat there over the outer edge, but Sundar was late.
And a very similar pitch hit foul in a very similar spot. Now 2-2. Marquez looking to set down the second of 2 via the K. The 2-2. Chopped to Boardman at short. He's going to field it, throw across in time on a nice stretch from Keys, and it's 6-3, the put out for the second out of the inning.
Boardman got the high hop. It didn't find the lip of the grass and kick over his head. He caught it about chest high and threw it Sundar by a step.
It'll be the second lefty of the inning, Ethan Johnson. He's walked and struck out so far today. This one hit high and deep to right. Shannon seems to have a beat on it, and he'll make the catch about 15 feet from the wall. The inning goes 1-2-3, strikeout, ground out, fly out. And we're through the top half of 6 in Sonoma. It's the 5th arm of the day for the Seagulls. And it's number 39, Jackson Shefsky.
Yeah, Shefsky is a true pitcher is what it looks like. He's from Burlingame, stands 6'5", 185 pounds. Another Santa Barbara Community College kid. He went 1 2/3 innings back on June 4th against the Merchants, where he gave up 1 earned run and 3 hits.
And that ends Ben Resnick's day at just an inning. He gave up 2 hits, 4 runs, and he walked a pair.
Yeah, didn't play at Santa Barbara Community College last season.
So the first pitch from Shefsky, that's going to be a mouthful every at-bat. Misses high to Libby.
87 on the gun. It's running hot. It's the afternoon.
The 1-0 misses a nearly identical pitch. High 2-0. Now the 2-0 to Libby. Low and in, 3-0.
Fastball, fastball, fastball. First 2 were well above the zone. He over-adjusted and missed low. And these are at-bats that you'll like for your stats if you're the Stompers.
That pitch misses inside. Ball 4, nearly hit Libby. That would not be a fun way to have a free base, so he'll take the pain-free way instead.
Yeah, Libby's been on base 3 times today and has a sac fly and is only out.
So that brings up the DH Paul Lazul, who came in today's contest hitting .333 in CCL play. He's walked, singled, and struck out. Libby on first. Shefsky on the mound. First pitch in there for strike 1.
Yeah, good pitch. Finally located it. We've only seen the fastball so far.
Now 0-1 to Lazul. That one gets away from the catcher Chavez, and it'll be a free 90 for McKay and Libby.
Yeah, I don't think the Stompers are stealing bases by themselves anymore. I don't think you're trying to steal one off the pitcher. But if it gets to the screen, why not?
Now 1-1, he's going to take a look and step off. Libby only a couple feet off of second base. He's got some family in town here in Sonoma from the Dallas, Fort Worth, Frisco area. The 1-1 hit hard down the first base line, but foul. Of course, the large portion of the Sonoma roster from the area, whether it's down closer to the Bay or, you know, Sonoma natives such as the Sebastianis, but McKay and Libby coming all the way from Texas. It's good to see the family travel, take a nice vacation, and come see their ball player. Now 1-2 to Lazul, misses high.
Yeah, and I want to get out of Frisco in early summer. This is probably a cold day for them.
And they might have to make a second visit as we get later in the year. Those dog days of summer in July. The 2-2 swung on, foul tipped, and squeezed by Chavez. Lazul goes down via the K. That'll bring up Esteban Sepulveda. He's got a pair of walks and a fielder's choice so far today. Came in hitting just 143, but he's been productive so far in CCL play. Libby leads off second, and this ball hit into shallow right center field. Catch is made, and no tag will be attempted. The catch made by Whalen. It's an F9.
Sonoma Stompers, number 19, Adam Alarby.
And pinch hitting for Sonoma, it's Adam Al-Arbi.
Yeah, Zach Pace shortening the afternoon for a couple of his starters already. We'll see how many remain in the game through all 9 innings and what's now just the second consecutive blowout for Sonoma. Third consecutive blowout going back to game 1 of this series. On the wrong end of that one, they've been on the right end the last 2 nights.
So it's Al-Arbi from the right side. First pitch misses outside. Two 2-0 the count with 2 outs. Now in the zone, 2-1. Al-Arbi just finished his freshman year at Modesto Junior College. He's originally from Seattle, played in 38 games, had 37 hits, 17 RBI, found 10 free bases via the walk and 2 from the hit by pitch. That one gets away from the catcher and shoots up the netting behind home plate. Libby will take third base. Al-Arbi also had 12 extra base hits. Ended the year slugging .388 at Modesto JC. The 3-1 hit foul towards the third base dugout. Libby just 90 feet away would be the 11th run of the ball game for the Stompers. The 3-2 misses low. It's ball 4 to Al-Arbi.
Yeah, nice at bat off the bench from Al-Arbi. Works the full count, gets the walk.
Brings back Sebastiani. He walked in his first plate appearance. He came around to score on the Brady Shannon triple. First pitch, high and in, 1-0.
The first baseman, Johnson's holding on the runner, Al-Arbi, and the second baseman, Sundar, is 2 steps to the pull side of the bag, so there's not a single defender on the right side of the infield, and that's where he sends it.
Sends it into shallow right field. A run will come across to score, and Ben Sebastiani has himself an RBI single.
Yeah, first RBI in league play, first hit in league play for Ben Sebastiani. And the Stompers' offensive approach has been near perfect against the shift. I feel like over half of their hits have gone where fielders should be if you're playing straight up. And it's worked. It's worked once. It really worked on the line drive up the middle that turned into a double play. When Akers has pulled one into the 5-6 hole that resulted in an out. But overall, it's been negative EV play if we want to play the analytics game, as the Seagulls seem to be doing.
Brady Shannon fouls the first pitch he sees back. He's halfway to a cycle, a single and a triple. With his frame and what we saw on that triple, he's certainly a threat to get the long ball. Runners on first and second and 2 outs. It's an 11-0 Stomper lead. The 0-1 misses inside. Tried to go front door with an off-speed pitch, and it was a good one. It just couldn't work its way all the way over the plate. Now 1-1. Swung on and missed. A nice off-speed pitch on the outside corner.
Center fielder Koch's playing very deep in center field after Shannon hit one .385 his last time up.
It's 1-2 to Shannon. The right on right with 2 outs. Hit high towards the right side and out of play. Landing and staying on the Stompers batting cage. Now it's rolled off. It'll be 1-2 again. So the Seagulls make 2 trips up to Sonoma for the weekend, and looks as though they will split those, falling at home in the middle. 1-2. There for a looking strike 3. Shannon goes down for the second time in his afternoon. It's the second strikeout of the inning for Shevsky. One comes across to score, and it'll be Kieran Costa to take you through the final 3 innings of this game at Arnold Field.
Tate Lewis, Carson Chavez, and Finn Whalen hit against Micah Marquez in the 7th. I'm Kieran Costa, joined alongside Roman Raffelli. The Stompers in full control of this one. They're up 11-0, and Marquez misses inside with his first pitch of the 7th. He worked a 1-2-3 6th. He has Hirian Han warming up behind him in the Stomper bullpen, but he gets Lewis to swing and miss. It's 1-1. Jones went 3, Moulton went 2, and now Marquez is in his second inning of work. Sepulveda sets up, and that one is not where the catcher was set up. It comes in and hits him. That brings up Carson Chavez, a Fordham Ram, playing his college. Well, he had 278 in 16 games last year in the Bronx. Leadoff man aboard, that's Lewis. The pitch is popped up very shallow center field. Akers comes on and makes the catch. It's an easy out number 1. And that brings up Finn Whalen. Whalen's gone down swinging twice. Once against Jones, once against Moulton. He gets a third look at Stomper pitching. Marquez delivers. Bends out of the way of a slider, but it stays high, 1-0. The Seagulls were aggressive on the base paths last night in what was a 14-3 game. Not running here. The pitch misses low and inside. 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch. Inside corner. This time it's a called strike. 2-1. 2-1 is lined into right center field. It dunks in. Cutting over is Al Harby. The runner heads towards third, and his throw is cut off. So let's try and set the defense. I think that's Al Harby in right, and maybe Shannon's moved to center field. Ben Sebastiani is definitely in left field. Shannon's at first base. So Shannon's at first, and Al Harby's in right. Stompers up 11-0, but the Seagulls have gotten a runner in scoring position for just the third time today, and that one misses to Waldvogel, who singled coming off the bench to replace Hodges, who we've seen lifted in now 2 of the 3 games this series. Waldvogel fooled. That one was 82. It was very early. Sonoma, 11 runs on 10 hits. The Seagulls, no runs on 3 hits. And that one misses low. 2-1 to Derek Waldvogel, who played 3 different positions yesterday. Right field, first base, and third base. He's at the hot corner again today. That one's in off of the corner to the righty, and it's 3-1. One more wide one loads the bases for back to the top of the order in Jake Brewer. Runner goes. The pitch is fouled in for Golf. Zapolo's throw down to second is knocked down by McCann Libby. Stopped it from going into center field. So it's a stolen base for Whalen, and the count runs full 3-2. First base open now. Payoff coming, Marquez to Waldvogel. Right down the middle for a called strike 3. Change up, buckled the knees of Waldvogel. That's the second strikeout for Marquez, and now Jake Brewer gets his 4th chance. Popped out, singled, and struck out.
And a great pitch there from Marquez. He had him sitting fastball, didn't see it, and thought the curve would end low, but it ended in the zone.
Marquez pitches. That one stays high. Stompers and the Seagulls wrapping up a 3-game set, and they'll have a month to cool off. July 3rd is the next times these teams meet, as that one is fouled into the glove 1-1. We take a look around the scoreboard. The Blues lead the Legends 6-1, trying to win the back 2 of that series in Sinsheimer. And then the Foresters are up on the Barons 12-4 down in the CCL South. 1-1 here is outside 2-1. At Arnold Field, it's 11-0. The Stompers over the Seagulls. Zach Pace and company well on their way to back-to-back victories to win the series over San Francisco, and the 2 off days for the coaching staff and the players will be a lot more fun with these results. This one's grounded to third. Shepler's long throw across the diamond is more than in time to get Brewer. So a single and a hit by pitch. Micah Marquez works through it. It's time to stretch here in Sonoma. No drama. Stompers up 11-0. Top of the order for Sonoma. Boardman, Shepler, and Akers slated to bat in the 7th inning. The Stompers have scored in 4 consecutive frames. Last one was just a lone run against Jackson Shefsky, who's back out there for his 2nd inning of work, and Boardman fouls it up and out of play. Another productive day for Boardman. 2 doubles, a walk, 2 runs scored, and a stolen base. The 0-1 to Colton is outside, 1-1. Shepler out in the on-deck circle, so looks like the top of the lineup will get their 5th chance. The 1-1 is grounded to the shortstop, and it's right under his glove into center field. Goes as an E6.
Yeah, I just didn't get the glove lower than the last hop. That's the typical rule, but hit the dirt, just kind of slid under it.
I mean, if you're Ryan Davis, the Seagull manager, you can live with your position players giving up runs. You don't have the arms, but it's plays like that where no matter the pitcher, that's a routine ground ball to your shortstop who's set up perfectly because of a shift. Now they play straight up for Shepler, and that's off the glove of Chavez. That's a wild pitch, though. That was well out of the zone, and Boardman takes 2nd base. Kieran Baker is in the on-deck circle. That would replace Landon Akers. Oh, he's maybe been called back. We'll see. I was just looking at the scouting report. Boardman at 2nd, nobody out. Stompers looking to extend an 11-0 advantage. Shepler fouls it back to the screen. One coming to Anthony Shepler. And that's lined the opposite way. If it stays fair, it does, and it hooks foul. That had extra bases written all over it for Shepler, and it landed less than a foot on the wrong side of the white chalk line down, heading to the left field foul pole. Shefsky might just finish this one out for San Francisco. Nobody up in the bullpen. Shepler behind it in the count, 1-2. Boardman at 2nd base. The pitch is low. A nice block this time by Chavez to keep it in front, and the count's 2-2. Two on the way to Anthony Shepler, and it hits him, but it might have been on the hop. Nope, it hit him on the full, and he heads to first base aboard for now the 3rd time today.
Ladies and gentlemen, now batting for your Sonoma Stompers, number 12, Kieran Baker.
That one is in there for a called strike to the pinch hitter, Kieran Baker. So that ends Landon Akers' night with a walk, a single, 2 stolen bases, and a couple of ground ball outs. But 2 RBIs, because he was, they took the RBI off the board on the runner's interference. Kieran Baker check swing foul down to the first base line. They didn't put the runner back, though.
I think we'll give him the RBI. I mean, if we're not putting him back, then who's really paying attention to the scorebook?
That one is a curve that
Johnny Red Neat, okay? Do it. Do it.
missed. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes coming to Baker, and that one will kick to the screen. Boardman goes to third base. Shepler goes to second base. And the Stompers seem to be in prime position to get another run back. (11, 10, and 3 for the Stompers, 0, 3, and 2 for the Seagulls. Baker takes high and tight, 3 and 2. First base open, and McCann Libby, who has a sac fly, 2 singles, a walk, and 2 stolen bases, is on deck. The Crawdads in the first place Merchants get going in 10 minutes, and that one's low ball for here at Arnold Field. Alameda is playing some nice ball down there in the East Bay in the early going. As Roman mentioned, they are in first place as of now. Walnut Creek, I think now 3 consecutive years where they've made the CCL North playoffs. They beat the Stompers in the CCL North title last year. Libby grounds it to the vacated right side. 1 run scores easily. The second run is Shepler. Here comes the third of the plate. He is in there standing up, and the shift burns San Francisco once more. And at what point do you decide to play him straight up? Because that's a tailor-made double play ball to exactly where the second baseman is played in a straight-up game. But it turns into 2 RBIs. RBIs 2 and 3 for Libby on the day. That's his 3rd hit, and Baker held at second base.
And I think initially we said, it's just a bad break. You get a ball directly against the shift, but at this point it's been at least 6 or 7 that have gone the opposite direction.
4 consecutive have reached for Sonoma, and Zach Pace will dip into his bench again for Charlie Moulton. Replaces Paul Lazul. Or it's Cameron Taylor, beg your pardon. The pitch is inside. Now it's 2-1. Stompers lead at 13-0. They scored 14 runs in a winning effort on the road yesterday. That 14th run is out at second base, and Moulton is fooled badly, went all the way around. Taylor, goodness. Two on, and the 2-2 misses outside. 3-2, 1 more wide, 1 loads him up. Boardman reached on an error. Shepler was hit by a pitch. They've both scored. Kieran Baker walked in his pinch hit appearance. He's at second base. Libby had his 3rd single. He's at first. And Moulton strikes out swinging. Taylor. It's the 4th time I did that.
And at this point, this game just kind of become running out the clock, if you will. You still got to get the outs. The offense still going to swing the bat. But Jackson Shevsky looking to eat the bulk of this with just 1 day off for the Seagulls. They'll play the Crawdads on Tuesday.
That one goes straight to the backstop and kicks back to Chavez. And that puts Baker at 3rd and Libby at 2nd. Couple RBI opportunities for Sepulveda, who still doesn't have a hit today. He's reached on a fielder's choice, walked twice, stolen 2 bases, and takes a fastball up 2-0, and there's a righty up in the bullpen for San Francisco. The pitch is low now, 3-0, and Adam Alarbi might have a chance with the bases loaded, unless Shefsky can figure out this command in a hurry. The 3-0, Sepulveda takes a called strike. Get me over. The 3-1, swing and a miss. Fastball high and tight, and now the count runs full 3-2. Shefsky's done a nice job to battle back into this count. Infield playing Sepulveda to pull. And he goes the opposite way and spoils it foul. Right on right, Shefsky and Sepulveda. Stompers are away from home until Thursday. And he lines this one to center, sinking fast. Koch coming on, doesn't sink fast enough. Baker tags from second and scores. So Sepulveda picks up the RBI.
Now batting number 19, Adam Alarbi.
And that's a great job of just doing a job by Esteban Sepulveda. Had this been a close game there, that's a big run that you got home. You hit the ball far enough in to let him tag up, and that's just good quality baseball.
That brings up Adam Alarbi for his second trip. He walked his first time in relief of Trent Keys. .44 pitches now for the catcher Shefsky, and McCann Libby is going to head back to second base, even if, as that one gets through the catcher Chavez. Sonoma leading 14-0. The second day in a row that they've put up 2 touchdowns on the Seagulls. The pitch is grounded towards the on-deck circle. Ben Sebastiani will get another at-bat, whether it's here in the 7th or in the 8th. Stompers have a crooked number 4 of the last 5 innings, and they've scored in all but one frame. That one is past Chavez to the screen, and now McCann Libby's going to take third base. 3 balls and 1 strike to Alarbi, who walked in his first trip. Alarbi, as Roman mentioned, from up in the Seattle area. He went to the same high school as Paolo Banchero. Basketball stat for you. That one misses high, 1-0. Magic made the playoffs? I think so. No chance the Magic made the playoffs this year.
No, they made the playoffs. Were set down by Boston in round 1.
Oh my God, they made the play-in. Okay.
No, that was the playoffs. They got through the play-in and then won it and made the playoffs.
Everybody makes the play-in in the NBA. First one to Ben Sebastiani's high. He's walked and singled. A good league approach from Sebastiani off the bench today in relief of Nick. Alarbi's at first, Libby's at third. That one drifts in there for a called strike. As we're back to baseball, we're still an hour away from tip-off in Game 2 of the NBA Finals. The Magic definitely didn't make that.
That is a true statement.
1-1 is high, 2-1. It was a good sports day. I mean, French Open final, Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Stompers are going to win 25-0. What more do you want? Sebastiani bounces it foul at home plate that counts 2-2.
Well, and barring a French Open-like comeback here, the Stompers have a win.
That's good knowledge. Alcaraz took the back 3 sets from an injured Yannick Sinner to win is now 5th major, I think, before the age of 22. That one's low outside. I mean, I'm before the age of 22, and I said the wrong name like 4 times the last at bat. So 2 people going in very different directions. Runners at the corners. Alabi runs on the payoff, and Sebastiani chases. The inning is over. The Stompers, though, pick up another 3, and they lead 14-0 as we head to inning number 8 on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. It's a new pitcher making his Stomper debut. It's Nathan Bunyard out of Century College in Minnesota. He's from the area, Santa Rosa, 6'1", 180-pound right-hander. And the stat that jumps off the page is 13 strikeouts per 9 innings. So that's well over a strikeout an inning for the righty, who went 7-0 for those that care about record. He had a 2.59 earned run average, 80 strikeouts in 55 2/3 innings. Joining the team late, because Century College made a nice run down there in the back half of their season. That one is a called strike from Bunyard at 90 miles an hour. Zach Pace has high hopes for the local righty. First in the MCAC, if anyone knows what that is. I think it's Minnesota Collegiate Athletic Conference or something along those lines. He misses low and away. The count's 2 balls and 1 strike. He replaces Micah Marquez, who pitched 2 shutout innings with a hit and 2 strikeouts. First hook, Bunyard's tried, and it stays high, 3-1. The pitch misses, and his Stomper summer starts with a walk issued to Mac Galvin, and now it's Ben Koch's turn, trying to avoid a golden sombrero. Struck out swinging in the first, struck out swinging in the third, both of those off of Justin Jones, and then struck out in the 6th against Micah Marquez, hoping for a better result this time out against Nathan Bunyard. That one misses high, 1-0.
And as today's beer batter at Arnold, he won't have quite the fan cheering against him as he has before because beer sales have ended, but 4Ks would be quite the day.
1-0, that's not a strike. That's served into center field, but it's going to be Kieran Baker who makes the running catch in medium deep left center field. He's gone for the 4th time today, and that brings up Pranav Sundar, who's bounced out to shortstop, struck out, and bounced out to the shortstop again. Stompers would take that ground ball and turn it for 2. Swing and a miss. Challenged him. High fastball at 89. The Stompers over the past 2 nights have outscored San Francisco 28-3. Uh-oh.
Quite the comeback of brewing.
That's what you have to think. They're named after a bird. The Falcons are named after a bird. That's a swing and a miss. That is a filthy curveball that had Sundar fooled, but taking second base on what's going to have to go as a pass ball against Sepulveda. They still have to score the game despite the lopsided scoreline here in inning number 8. Bunyard sets at the belt and comes home low. Sepulveda keeps that one close enough. The count's 1-2 on Sundar with Ethan Johnson on deck. Playing first base today. We've seen him catch. We saw him DH last night. Bunyard's 1-2 is a curveball that drops in there, and Sundar knew it. He turns and heads back to the third base dugout. That's a nice pitch from Nathan Bunyard.
Number 16, Ethan Johnson.
That brings up Ethan Johnson, who's on his way to Missouri this coming fall. He's walked, struck out, and pulled a fly ball out to right field back when that was Shannon. That was a hard hit ball into the gap. First pitch fastball, 89, is over the outside corner, 0-1. Tate Lewis would be next. 0-1 offer. Righty on lefty is low. 1-1. Johnson, a slightly open stance, hugging the plate from the left side. Bunyard sets at the middle of the mound and comes right over the top to attack the left-handed hitting first baseman. That one's line foul back to the train. It counts 1-2. And that 9-0 loss back on Friday night here at Arnold Field seems to have sparked something for Sonoma. That was a 3rd consecutive loss, and they've really woken up since then. 1-2. That's the curveball, and it's the same result, a strikeout looking. A very productive first inning in Sonoma. A couple strikeouts and a walk stranded at second base. We assume this will be the last up for the Stompers in the last of the 8th, leading 14-0 on a Sunday afternoon on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. Miles Callinger's the new pitcher. He is listed as an outfielder out of San Francisco, California. Plays at USF. And his first pitch to Brady Shannon's fouled off. So Shefsky's night is done. He had 25 games as a hitter where he hit a .182 for the Dons. He delivers a strike there, 84. He has some velocity out of the bullpen. That closes the book on Shefsky. 2 innings, 2 hits, 4 runs, just 2 of them earned. And then 4 walks and 4 strikeouts. Turns it over to Callinger, the 6th pitcher for Ryan Davis. That's outside, and the count's 2-2. Thanks for hanging out here on a Sunday afternoon. Stompers in full control of this one, 14-0 as Shannon fouls it back to the screen. Colton Boardman will get at bat number 6 out on the on-deck circle. Two home. Skips in there, and it's 3-2. Eisenhower went 2 innings, 1 run. Max McGrady gave up 3 runs without recording an out. Jackson Landry went 2 innings, 2 runs. Ben Resnick gave up 4 earned over 1 inning. Jackson Shefsky went 2 innings, and he gave up 4 runs, 2 of them earned. So the Stompers have scored 14 runs today, 12 of them charged to Seagull pitching. And Shannon's working a 3-2 battle here against the new pitcher, Callinger, and that battle will continue to pitch number 8. Another payoff. Shannon pops this one up. I think this one is in play. It's lost in the sun, and it's Callinger, the natural outfielder, has no problem making that play as the pitcher.
Now batting number 3, Colton Boardman.
So Shannon's retired for the 3rd time today, but he has his first hit a single, and then his second hit was a triple. He's retired P1, and back to the top in Colton Boardman, who takes low. A fastball skips in at 85. Stompers have Monday off, as they always do, but Tuesday off as well, before they head to Alameda to get revenge on the Merchants, who beat them here at Arnold Field on Thursday. San Francisco takes on Walnut Creek on Tuesday at San Bruno Park, as Boardman pulls that one foul down the first baseline, and the count's 2-1. Righty on lefty. The pitch is high and outside to Boardman. 3-1. Colton looking to get on base for the 5th time today. The pitch is high, ball 4. He's done just that. 2 doubles, 2 walks. He's reached on an error, scored 3 runs. That brings up Anthony Shepler, who had a successful sacrifice bunt in the 1st inning. Reached on an error and scored in the 3rd inning. Had a single in the 4th inning. Lined into a double play, which was his hardest hit ball of the game in the 5th inning, and then was hit by a pitch and scored in the 7th. The pitch to Shepler is high and outside, 1-0. And it looks like out on the mound, Callinger just trying to guide it in there and head home back to the city. The pitch is high, 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Boardman off first, not running, and it's high 3-0. You have to say not running because we've seen in these blowouts, the Seagulls, no matter if they're winning or losing, continue to be uber aggressive on the base paths in the late innings. 3-0 coming to Shepler. He takes called strike. Nice pitch from Callinger to keep the at-bat alive. And the Seagull bullpen is walking back to the dugout, so Callinger will have to get these final 2 outs. And he's 1 strike closer as he gets Shepler to swing through that 80-mile-per-hour fastball that counts full at 3-2. Kieran Baker is on deck. He walked and scored last inning. Shepler tomahawk chops it foul down the first baseline. Foul ball past Jacoby Heyer in first base coaching box. The pitch to Shepler's grounded to first. Johnson gloves it. The throw to second has to be a tag play. And it is. Colton Boardman didn't even wait for the umpire to call it. He's heading back to grab his glove and head out for the top of the 9th, where the Stompers are on top of the Seagulls 14-0 here at Arnold Field. You're watching the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. Chris Albee will be the 6th pitcher today for Sonoma. The righty out of William Jessup pitches in there for a called strike 1. This is his 2nd league appearance. He pitched on Thursday, I think, against the Blues. No, Wednesday against the Blues. He threw 3 shutout innings, 3 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. He delivers here and gets a swing and a miss from Tate Lewis. Albee filling up the zone. 2nd-year Stomper, was a fan favorite out of the bullpen last season. Didn't get the run at William Jessup during his college year. Now He's back in the Stomps pen. And he starts this outing by inducing a high pop-up to first base, where Brady Shannon squeezes it. Just 2 outs left for San Francisco here on Sunday. This one, the polar opposite of last Sunday matinee. It took the Stompers all the way down to the last of the 9th inning to win that one. It was a high-scoring affair, 15-14. This time, 14 runs is enough to win it when 6 pitchers are on their way to shutting out San Francisco. Albie pitches, and that swung on and missed. Chris in his 3/4 delivery as it working from the right side, as he's now attacking Carson Chavez, who's popped out to the shallow center field 3 times. One was caught by the center fielder, one was caught by the second baseman, and one was caught by the shortstop. But all 3 were pretty much the same spot. He's behind 0-2 to Chris Albie. These teams don't do battle until July 3rd. The Stompers have a couple of off days before they take on the Merchants Wednesday at 6 at the College of Alameda. You can catch that broadcast audio only on the Stompers Mixler, just as you could yesterday. One-two coming from Albie to Chavez. Sets at the belt and pitches. Popped foul. Albie falls to the ground after delivering that one, but he's back up and okay. One ball and 2 strikes on Chavez. Finn Whalen on deck. 1-2 coming. Albie induces a pop-up right field line. It's down the line. Moving over is Al Harvey, and he makes a leaping catch, crossing over into foul territory. That's a natural second baseman. Makes a nice play out in right field.
Number 14, Finn Whalen.
That brings up Finn Whalen. Seagulls are 1 out away from getting shut out by Sonoma pitching. Albie working off the first base side of the hill. Delivers to Whalen, swing and a miss, 0-1. And this is the sharpest I think I've seen Chris Albie in his 2 years out here on the Arnold Field mound. Oh, 1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. And now the Stomper faithful rise to their feet as they're 1 strike away from seeing a dominant victory from the home Stomps. 0-2. Line drive to first over Shannon's head in to right field. That ball dies on the grass, and the fans will have to sit back down and await Waldvogel, Derek Waldvogel's 3rd at-bat.
36, Derek Waldvogel.
And a nice piece of hitting there from Whalen. You just saw the outside pitch kind of just drop the barrel in between that and the glove of Sepulveda and took it the other way.
The pitch coming, swing and a miss. Waldvogel, and that's 4 consecutive first pitch strikes from Albie. Did you have that soft line drive to right? The 0-1 is low 1-1, and Finn Whalen bluffed to take second base. One. Outside corner called strike 2, and for the second time today, the Seagulls are down to their final strike, and Derek Waldvogel had a word for Kevin Addington after that called strike. 1-2. Inside. I don't think it hit him as he stays in the batter's box, but to second base on the wild pitch goes Whalen.
He actually looked a little bit frustrated with himself that he didn't wear that one. Should have gotten out of the 2-strike count, get another guy on, and bring up the top of the order.
Another chance to win it. Albie likes the sign he gets from Sepulveda. Sets and delivers. Ball game over. The Stomps win. Derek Waldvogel runs down to first base, but Esteban Sepulveda shakes the hand of Kevin Addington, and this one is over. Stompers 14, Seagulls nothing on a Sunday afternoon in Sonoma. And Roman, everything went right. 14 runs on the offensive side, but arguably more impressive, 6 Stompers combined to shut them out.
It was just a great all-around game. We expected this from the Stompers. They had a big win in their first road game last night, and they've just continued to play good baseball. They're being patient at the plate, doing good work across the field, and they're being rewarded for it now.
Yeah, a great showing top to bottom. The Stompers get 1 in the first, 3 in the third, 2 in the second, 4 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, and 3 come across in the 7th inning. And as I said, it goes Jones to Moulton, to Marquez, to Bunyard, to Albie to shut the door. The winning pitcher, I think, is Charlie Moulton, as Jones only went 3 innings. The losing pitcher is Ben Eisenhower, despite only giving up 1 run. No save today in a 14-0 contest. And Roman, this has to feel nice going into back-to-back off days for the team and this coaching staff, which end a tough week at times, 3-3 in their first week of CCL action.
Yeah, they ended at 500, but they were down just 1-3. These last 2 come at a great time. They're playing good ball. They're seeing it well. They're just taking good quality at bats. It's a great place to be going into that, but then not just going into the 2 days off, but to go into Wednesday's game against the Merchants, who are currently at the top. You have confidence, you're playing good ball, and you can go in there and get one back from them.
Yeah, 14 runs, 11 hits, 3 errors for the victorious Stompers, and the shutout, no runs, 4 hits, and 2 errors for the Seagulls. And the Stompers really kick it into gear. The last 2 nights, they win 14-3 in San Bruno yesterday, 14-0 today in front of the home crowd. Off day Monday, off day Tuesday, and then you can catch Roman Raffili and myself on the Stompers Mixler stream. That's Wednesday, a 5:50 pregame show and a 6 o'clock first pitch from College of Alameda. Back home Thursday, so the next broadcast here on the YouTube will be a 5:50 pregame and 6:05 first pitch Thursday. The Stompers improve to 6-5 overall, 3-3 in league play. The Seagulls drop to 1-3 overall. They take on Walnut Creek Tuesday at San Bruno Park. So let's run this one more time. 14-11-3 for the Stompers, 0-4-2 for the Seagulls. The winning pitcher is Moulton. The losing pitcher is Eisenhower. For everybody that makes this broadcast production run, and my partner Roman Raffili, I'm Kieran Costa signing off from Sonoma. Stompers 14 and Seagulls nothing on a Sunday afternoon.